So let's look a little bit at our top 10 predictions for 2012, and we published this in early November of last year. And some of the things we talked about, and I'm not going to have time to go through all of these because we only have a few minutes now for Q&A. But I'll talk about a couple of things. One is the first bullet, which is consolidation in the industry. I think we're going to continue to see that with the economy starting to show signs of life, and the fact that there's so many software vendors in the marketplace and limited customers to buy the software. I think you're going to start to see more consolidation. We've already seen quite a bit of that here in the last few months and the last year with, for example, Epicor being taken private, Infor acquiring Lawson, et cetera. I think you're going to see a shake-up in the Tier 1 space. I think Infor is making a move. Obviously they're trying to become kind of the next Oracle in terms of their acquisition strategy and their growth strategy. So I think in the not-too-distant future, we're not going to have the clear Tier 1 that we have now, where it's clearly Tier 1, or it's clearly SAP and Oracle EBS. You already see Microsoft Dynamics. I mean, we would almost consider them, or we do consider them in many cases, a Tier 1 product, simply because they have such a large market share. Now, their customer base or the size of their customers are a lot smaller than an SAP or an Oracle, but their market share base is certainly comparable. And the acceleration of ERP failures, that's unfortunately something that is absolutely going to continue in the next year or two. And the big driver of that is we're just now starting to see the collateral damage from the recession and companies cutting their IT budgets too much and trying to do too much with too little. We're seeing a huge uptick in our expert witness, demand for our expert witness offering. And in fact, if you just go Google ERP lawsuits or ERP failures, not only are you going to find a lot of information about our expert witness work and some of the thought leadership we've put out there about failures and lawsuits, but you're also going to find a lot of recent lawsuits that have been filed in the last 6 or 9 or 12 months. They're pretty high-profile lawsuits, so even if you just go look in the public domain, there's a lot of information out there about failures and lawsuits. And the reason for that is companies are trying to do too much with too little, and hopefully as the economy gets better and companies start to loosen their purse strings, they'll start to invest a little bit more in their ERP initiatives. And I think along with that, the last thing I'll talk about is the less do-it-yourself ERP projects we'll see. We're starting to see a lot more companies now become a little bit more sophisticated to understand that they can't do all this themselves. They need outside experts. It's going to actually be cheaper and faster for them to use outside help than to try and do it all themselves. So we are seeing that as a trend as well, which is a big part of why we've seen so much growth here in the last couple of years, especially.